My guess is it's probably going to be an Ohrid Trout.
Oh my.
Holy... Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good freaking Friday morning to you. And it is my favorite time of the week. It's Fish Friday. So today, this is the first episode for Call of the Wild the Angler that we're doing on the channel. So I figured what better way to start off the series than to just show you how to catch some fish on here if you're new to this game, or even if you're just struggling at finding and catching fish in this game. So the first thing we're going to do, we got a rod and stuff like that. We're doing this from the perspective that we're new at this game. So I do believe you unlock this spinner right away. If you look in the top left hand corner, it's a size 7 spinner. So after you've got your lure, I believe it works for everything. Gotta find the fish. So what we're looking for here is like this stuff right here in front of us. Lily pads, got some rocks, some seaweeds, more lily pads over here, some submerged logs. Anything fish are gonna hide on, stuff like that. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go right up in these lily pads and stuff. And we're gonna throw out. So if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, there's different retrieval speeds. So for the spinners, I like to do a 1 or a 2. And then drag is the one next to it. If you see the number moving, 45, 50, this is basically your brake. So this is how much pressure you apply to the fish. That's just how much drag they could theoretically have to pull against. So because we're using 8-pound test on this light action rod, we're going to do 50. I think because the reel isn't as strong as the line, I believe we could go up there pretty high before we get into worrying about breaking the line. So then after we do all our checks on that stuff, we're just going to cast out. Boom, right there's a fish. Right there in the little... Oh my. What did we hook? Yeah, we're a little underpowered for this. Whatever this is. Not a good fish to show you guys how to catch it on your first attempt. There we go. We turned them. I don't think we're getting this fish. But, I mean, this was a great to show you what's up when you're using too much light-powered gear here. Come on. I think this is probably a pike. That's the only thing with fishing in the weeds is that you can get pike. Yeah, now we got to do 45. We can't do anything more. We're probably gonna get spooled here. There we go. He's coming in now. We're turning him. No idea what this is yet. We're definitely underpowered for whatever it is. That's for sure. Still haven't seen what it is yet. Yeah, it's a pike. I figured as much by the way it was fighting. It was gonna be a pike. So that's our first fish of the series right there. The beginner series teaching you guys how to fish. It's a freaking silver pike. Yeah. Not a good fish to start on if you're new to this game, learning how to fight those things. But cool fish nonetheless. So let's just say now we leveled up on that fish. What are we gonna do then? So to get better equipment, we're gonna have to go back over here. So on this map specifically, Diamond Peaks Outpost is the place you want to go because that's where the shop is. Going to the shop is where you do all your changes as far as lures, clothes, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go back up and I'll show you around the shop a little bit. And then I'll go show you a spot where you can go where you're not going to get something that big, where you shouldn't get something that big.
Me, the shopkeeper with the great
So,
deals.
Taylor's Tackle is the place around here where you're going to go do all your stuff. So you go up to her, you talk to her. You got buy, sell, customization, storage, and local souvenirs. Local souvenirs, this is stuff that is specific to Golden Ridge Reserve. So there's different requirements for it. So your little green stars, that's for doing Taylor's missions. and all that stuff. So when you go into the challenges, no, hold on. Yeah, when you go to journal, Sophia Taylor, there's a bunch of these challenges. So as you complete these challenges, you get those little green stars,
What piques your interest?
and that's what those green stars are for. Your EW gold coin that you just earned from catching fish. That's how you buy. That's how you buy your regular gear and all that kind of stuff. The gold trophies, those are for getting gold fish. So there's different rankings for the fish. There's bronze, or no, there's juvenile, all the way up to diamond. So the gold trophies, you have to get gold level fish. And it's basically just the biggest, just the size on them, basically. The blue trophies, the only thing I can figure for that is that those are for your diamond fish. So when you get the biggest fish that you can possibly get for the species, you get that little diamond. And then if we go down to here, this boat, there is purple trophies. Now, if I remember correctly, those are for specifically catching the legendary fish of the reserve. So I believe it's Sidewinder and Big Larry, and then there's another one I can't remember. There's a catfish. So that's your local souvenirs in a nutshell. Storage, this is where you keep all your rods and reels that you purchased. You have your spinning rods, bait casting, feeder rods, so that's basically a bottom rod, and your match rod, which is aka a float rod. That's where all that stuff is, and keeps your reels in it, line, lures, hooks, baits, floats, sinkers, jig heads, soft plastics, and then equipment, so that's new to the game. That's like your feeders, your boat feeders, and all that stuff. That's all DLC. Your customization. So this is where you go to customize your character. I do believe you do this before you set off onto your game. You got your hair, your hats. So this is where if you buy any clothes or anything like that, it's going to be stored here. Your accessories, tops, gloves, bottoms, boots, the whole shebang. If you want to sell something, you can go through your storage basically, and then it shows you what it's worth and all that stuff. Buying is pretty self-explanatory. You can buy your equipment, clothes, and then vehicles, because there are boats and cars and everything like that on here. So you got all that kind of stuff located right there. So that's pretty much Sophia's tackle shop in a nutshell. That's where you're going to go if you want to change anything and customize anything. Now, let's say, because you're new to this, you don't really know what to use and what's in here. So you're going to go into the handbook once you go into your menu, and this is going to show you a list of everything in the reserve. So Golden Ridge, I believe, is the most populated map at this point in juncture. It has largemouth, smallmouth, rock bass, bluegill, burbot, crappie, both white and black, your northern pike, yellow perch, muskie, freshwater drum, which is new at the time this video is being made. It's newer. Channel catfish, we got our crappie, kokanee, which is basically just a sockeye. The kokanee is a lake-bound one, so it's not an ocean-run one like the sockeyes are. You got sauger, shovel-nosed sturgeon, green sunfish, brook trout, cutthroat, mountain whitefish, walleye, rainbow trout, Ohrid trout, which is basically just a brown trout, lake trout, golden trout, carp sucker, and crayfish, which again at the time of this video is new. This is where you want to go. So let's say we want to figure out what smallmouth eat. So if you go into traits, this is basically just going to show you how the fish is going to act, what's the best time to get it. So this one is going to be the sun. And then it's going to show you how to fight, how it fights, and if it's a hard fighter or not, basically. If you go to like certain ones like tiger muskie, aggressive jumper, it'll show you that they're going to jump. I forget, I think pike is the one. There are certain ones where they, so burbot is night. I know catfish. We're going to go to catfish. Where's catfish on here? So catfish, bottom lurker, so we're probably going to catch that fish more on the bottom. Keen senses, so responds to food instead of lures. Pike, let's see. There's one where they nibble on it and all that stuff, I forget. So trouter, you're easily spooked. So basically your traits is just how the fish is going to act. So let's say you want to catch a smallmouth. You're going to go to inspect. Now if you read the description, in the top left it says habitat. So this is where you're going to be able to find this fish. Your bait and lure preferences, that's self-explanatory. That's what the fish likes to eat and what it likes to go after as far as lures. And then it gives you this really nice little description here if you want to read it and get a better understanding of the fish itself and all that kind of cool stuff, where to find it and all that kind of stuff. And then some other goodies that are pretty relevant to you in here. So this is the legendary fish. So this shows you all the legendary fish. So this one bites lures that recently splashed. So you basically got to cast on top of Goldstein here in order to get him to bite. Then there's Big Larry, that's the catfish, and then there's Sidewinder, which is the lake trout. So this shows you your legendary fish, and it'll show you like with this, it'll show you your best catch of fish. And actually, I'm going to go into this a little bit more. This screen also shows you what your personal best fish is. For example, this one right here, my largemouth is 8 pounds. It's about 2 feet. The score for it and stuff like that. As you can see, we had a couple diamonds. So diamonds says diamond on it, gold is gold, silver, silver, and then there should be some bronze. So any of them, like this rock bass here that is grayed out, that means you have not caught that fish yet. You have yet to catch that fish species. So that's what you got to do in order to get this rock bass here. You got to find them in shallow ponds, minnows, lake mix, all that kind of stuff, and use for them. So that basically just shows you that you didn't catch them, the grayed out ones. And then it shows you, like I said, your best weight, score, all that stuff for it. Your latest catches, that just shows you, it's pretty self-explanatory. That just shows you your past, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 by 3. So it shows you your past 20 catches, so it lets you know what you've been catching recently and all that kind of stuff. Coins, so there's certain like collectibles for each level here. For this one, it's coins. I don't know if the other ones are. I can't really remember. I'm not looking too much for them. To be honest, I'm mostly just fishing on this game. Figures for this one, we found some lost things, notes. So there are some things, I believe notes are in everything. You can read this kind of stuff if you want. Your profile shows you the reserve, your best for the reserve, your best score, how many missions you created and completed, your points of interest, your fishing stuff is just going to show you your favorite species. So that's just your lake trout. So that's just the most I've caught of is lake trout. It's not necessarily your favorite, obviously. Your score, gear, just it's basically just your statistics. Basically, is your profile and all that kind of stuff. Daily challenges. So this is pretty clutch if you're trying to level up your stuff, is picking one of these. The ones that I really personally like to do are the ones like the species one, where you can catch any of them, minimum rank any, and you get 7, and you get 205 XP just for doing that. This is probably the fastest way to level up is by doing these. So this one right here, any species 10, minimum rank silver. We would start this challenge, and then we got today to complete it and get it done, basically. And then we get rewarded. So the one I started already, I gotta get 61 pounds of fish. I get 433 XP. Those are the daily challenges. And then there are challenges that are a little bit more involved, like this one here, where you got the whole week to complete this, and it has a greater XP reward for doing that. And then directly underneath this, it shows you how long you have to complete those. So for the weekly challenge, we got 5 days. The daily, we have 9 hours in this instance. Your map is self-explanatory. This is where you can look around the world and fast travel. So your fast travel points are basically going to be the yellows. So those are where your outposts start. Some of your points of interest are fast travelable. That one is not. Trailheads are going to be fast travelable. Your points of your lookout towers are not. So keep those in mind.
But wait, you didn't buy
Sorry, I had to eat away so she wouldn't be talking. So one thing that's actually really nice is some of these lakes you go to, they'll actually tell you what fish are in the lake or in the body of water you're at. So if we go to this one, for example, it tells you what the fish are in the area, so you know what's going to be around there and what to fish for as far as lures and baits and stuff like that. There's also these little things right here. These are user-created fishing hotspot markers. So, for example, let's say I'm here. I caught a lot of fish of a certain species here. We would do add marker. Now you have all these different things. It all depends on how you want to do it and stuff like that. Generally speaking, for the missions, I use the color fishes here. But let's say we got fish here. So you're going to create that there, and it just says user place marker. Now, if I wanted to specifically set it so that way I could mark what's here, I would hit the X button because I'm on PlayStation. Go to set label, and let's say I got largemouth bass here. Boom. That spot's saved, and I don't have to remember where it is in relation to the map, because obviously for this one, Golden Ridge, it's a very big one. Now, if we go on here, and let's say I make a mistake with that, you just go to remove marker, and boom, it's gone. But that's a very clutch tool that they have there. Let me go back to fishing here. So, we're in one of the small ponds. This is directly southeast of the starting outpost, and this is probably where I would recommend you beginner start, are these little lakes and ponds right here, because these are going to mostly have trout in them and nothing much bigger than trout. So your gear while you're starting should be able to handle these fish. So for example, this one has brook trout, yellow perch, mountain whitefish, crappie, white crappie, rainbow trout, ohrid trout, and green sunfish. So as I said, you definitely want to keep your spinner. Again, you just throw it out. And as soon as you can upgrade to a spoon, definitely get a spoon. The spoon is definitely the better of the two, in my opinion. There's a fish. Oh. So, just as I said that there shouldn't be anything big in these ponds, we hooked into something pretty massive. Question is, what's it gonna be? My guess is it's probably gonna be an ohrid trout. The brown trout. Oh my, holy crap. There it is. And there it is, our first diamond of the series, and it's a ohrid trout. Well done. Well, there you go, guys. That's how you well then. So, yeah, that's a good fish to end the video on. So there you go. I hope that little tutorial there helps you out, guys. I hope it helps you at least start catching fish. As you can see, using the beginner tackle, and you can absolutely catch these diamonds that you're looking for out here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next week Friday. We're going to have another episode, and we're going to try to figure out what we're going to go for. We just got our first diamond ohrid trout there, so we'll have to figure out what we do next. If you got any suggestions for what you guys want to see as far as what we go after and what we do, just put it down in the comment section, and I'll let you know what we're going to do. But thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.